Well, hey there! Welcome again to another Q&A Saturday. My name is Alison Beer of AlisonBeer.com, where I work mainly with adults who want to reignite their creativity, live light-hearted, and learn to draw their very own cartoon characters. Today, I'm looking at how to draw a stickman properly. You may think that everyone can draw a stickman, but I can guarantee you that 90% of us don't draw that helpfully when they first get going. So let's take a look. We're looking today at how to draw a stickman correctly and to use him also to get our character moving. So we want to draw a stickman and make him move. And you've probably drawn a stickman who looks something like this one, what I call a wooden stickman. A stickman who doesn't have much life in him, doesn't look like he can bend or move or walk at all. This hangman. That's not at all what we want to use when we start drawing cartoons. What we use when we start drawing cartoons is what I call an articulated stickman, a stickman who has joints. And here's how we draw him. So, first of all, he has a few differences from that funny, rather wooden-looking hangman stickman. He has shoulders. So he has a shoulder girdle and a hip girdle, just like a real person. And then he has joints, so shoulder joints, elbow joints, wrist joints, hip joints, knee joints, ankle joints. So those are the very important things. He has shoulders, he has hips, and he has joints in both his arms and his legs. Now that we know how to move away from that hangman stickman, let's have a look at how we actually construct this articulated stickman and some of his proportions. So the important thing, as we pointed out just now, is that he has shoulders and he has hips. And the shoulders width and the hip width are approximately the same. So that's the first thing to remember, shoulders the same width as the hips. Then we have a look at the arms. How long should they be? Well, there's always a slight bend in the arm, or generally, and the elbow is about halfway, bent elbow is about halfway down the spine. The hands, if you look at your own hands, they tend to hang just at or below your hips, especially if you're standing up straight and you let your hands hang down. They hang down below your hips. So when your arms are slightly akimbo like this, they hang round about hip length. And then the knee is about halfway to the ankle, and then you've got your feet. This top half of the body here is approximately halfway the length of the entire thing. So top half and bottom half like that. If we're looking exactly side on, well, then you won't see two shoulders, will you? You'll see one shoulder and the other one will be hidden behind it. You'll see one hip and the other will be hidden behind it. Let's imagine that the arm is going slightly back like that to stand on with hand on hip, and then you're going to have a knee, an ankle, a foot like that. So this is the person facing forward like this. We're looking at him exactly side on, and the other arm is hidden out the back there as well. And that's all we can see. One shoulder, one hip. Now we come to the really fun part, which is getting your stickman moving. And this is where you actually just need to let your imagination go wild and start moving his limbs around. So put them together and get those arms moving. Just remember that you need to make sure that you've got all the joints. So remember always you need your shoulder joints, hip joints, knee, ankle, wrist, elbow, wrist, and start to play. So if you have his hips at a slight angle and you have his legs doing wild things, you'll start to get an enormous sense of energy. This is one of my favorite ways to just create a lot of movement and energy. If you think about him jumping for joy, his feet could go like this. So imagine he's jumping for joy and his ankles and things are going in all sorts of places, and there go his arms up over his head. You can imagine them dancing. Oh, we got our neck a bit too long there. Never mind, start over. And the thing here is to not be constrained by the idea that you're not going to get it right, because it's much better to work quickly and freely and let whatever appears on paper suggest things to you than to end up sitting and pondering too much and not managing to get him moving. So have your own bit of fun, because the more fun you have with your stickman at this stage, the more likely you are to end up falling in love with stick people and drawing and drawing and drawing for hours, probably, just getting them going. So see what you can do with your very own stickman. Make mistakes, let your imagination go wild, sorting them out. And I'll see you next week for our next bit of stick adventures. That was my answer to how do you draw a stickman properly so that you can actually use it to start creating cartoons. I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, stick around, because this is the beginning of a series. Next week I'm going to be looking at how to get a whole lot of movement into your stickmen, and that will then springboard on to how to create actual characters from stickmen. Did you like this video? If you did, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and of course I would love it if you shared it with all of your friends. If you'd like even more updates and things that I only share on email, head on over to my website www.alisonbeer.com and sign up there for email updates. You'll find a whole load of free goodies waiting for you already. Thank you so much for watching. Get drawing, get practicing, because every day you make some progress when you put pencil to paper. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time on Q&A Saturday.